is Dan Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking on the guys they signed here in Detroit. Dogs. And I love when, whether it's Brad Holmes or Dan Campbell or whoever it may be, hits a podium or gets a microphone in front of them and confirms things that we say on this show already. Because a lot of times, because our Lions are doing so damn good, it feels like we get carried away and we're just kind of being like hype men for what's going on.
Hell yeah!
And you get the guys that actually coach the game and speak these same scenarios, same facts, same things they expect out of these certain players. This is Dan Campbell speaking on Carlton Davis joining the team. If you don't mind playing that one, Chris.
Look, Carlton, we got to play him twice, and I was in that division as well before that, and so just myself alone, I had a good feeling of Carlton. We didn't want to really throw at him. We know he's a good cover guy, and he'll tackle on the perimeter. There's things that he can do where he can take a little bit of his side of the field away at times, which just to have some of that, man, goes a long way for the rest of the defense, and what AG is going to be able to call. So, so that's going to help, and that's really something we feel like we haven't had here since we've been here. So that was Brad did a hell of a job getting that trade done and getting it through.
He made a very important statement in that we've been talking about for a while since they added Carlton Davis, that this is something we didn't have here. This is something you didn't have here. This is what they wanted Jeff Okudah to be. This is the reason they signed Emmanuel Moseley last year and then brought him back after his second ACL injury, because he is a coverage man guy. You put him out there against the best receiver, the big, tall, physical receiver. You put him on an island. You say, that's your guy. Go lock him down for the game. That's what Carlton Davis is. That's what he does. That's what they brought him in here to do. And on top of that, not only does he fit the scheme that Aaron Glenn runs, he fits the guy they want. They talked, Dan Campbell just said it. He's familiar with this guy. He knows this guy. He played in the same division as this guy. They didn't want anything to do with him. You don't want to throw at him. And when he gets out there, if a running back's in the flat, if a tight end's in the flat, he's going to knock him on their ass. This is a guy that fits the scheme. He fits the culture, and he is a piece that you didn't have. He is what Emmanuel Moseley was supposed to be for the Lions team last year. He is the guy they feel comfortable with locking up a one-on-one on the outside against I don't know, who were guys that cooked us last year? Justin Jefferson, that's a guy you could put him out there against. A guy, I don't know, Mike Evans, that's a guy that he played every single day in practice and went on one-on-one against. Another guy in this division,
Keenan
big,
Allen.
Tall, strong, fast guy. Christian Watson, that's a guy he'll line up one-on-one on the outside. Keenan Allen, a guy who just brought into the Bears, a big, tall, physical receiver on the outside. That's what you brought him in here to be. He is your tall, long-armed, man-on-man cornerback. And I'm excited to see him go out there and cook.
No wonder why he switched up. Why I said 2 Cam, because he took all the good shit. Fuck you.
Let him cook.
Piece of shit. No.
100%.
That's why I love to hear. This is exactly what we told you guys. There's people in the chat. They're kind of being negative Nancy's. Oh, he's not a CB1. Oh, this is not a great pickup. People kind of hating on the move. No. We say it. Again, it can sound like fandom because we are fans of the team, and it sounds like we're overhyping things. That's not the case. This is Dan Campbell, head coach, guy I'd probably consider among the top 10 best coaches in the league, telling you they purposely didn't throw his way when they played him. And they played him twice, once in the regular season, and then again during the playoffs. Playoffs where it matters the most, by the way. Another thing, too, is like Spinney mentioned, and Dan Campbell himself, too. The whole side of the field at times, you can leave to him.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't got to worry about things. And that helps AG run the things he likes to do, which confirms another thing we told you on the show, is that, yes, I can't sit here and tell you that defense was top 10. It absolutely was not. But we told you guys he didn't have the pieces to work with to do the things that he wanted to do. You got a guy that's both great in man coverage. You got a guy that you get asked to hold things down. At least that you could respect to try to hold a guy on an island out there, talk about like a number 1 wide receiver, to where you can go and do the things that AG likes to do. And by the way, kind of proved in my mind that he is good at it, is getting freaky with those nickel guys, freaky with not in a Diddy way, but getting like he's getting nasty where he's asking these guys in the slot to go down there and blitz or safeties or linebackers. AG's told you guys, like plain and simple, if it were up to him, it'd be man coverage and blitzing every single play, every single down. Having a piece like this and Carlton Davis allows him to do that. Mm-hmm. And again, we said it before we even knew he was coming to this team. As the AG's this year is put up or shut up year.
Yes.
Because we knew the pieces were coming. Because it was absolute bullshit that he was getting judged without the pieces. You got the pieces now. And more coming, by the way, too. Confirmed by both Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes during owner meetings as well. But it's good. It's good.
Easy.
I love when they confirm the shit we say.
Speaking of Brad Holmes there, he never gives up capital. I mean, the biggest reason why this Detroit Lions team is so different is because the way that Brad Holmes is drafted. And he gave up capital, a third-round pick to go get this guy. Back to Dan Campbell. When he talks, he shoots you straight. He has criticized his own players, and he's given his own players props. So when he's talking about this guy and he's talking him up like this, it's because he 100% believes it.
It's true, and you look at the numbers, and they are true. Like Easy said, we played this guy twice last year. The Detroit Lions played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers twice last year. Look at Carlton Davis's numbers in those games. And I'll tell you what, we like this offense. We like these receivers that this offense had. Carlton Davis was out there dogging people. So they saw him, obviously, when they were coaches in New Orleans, and they saw him twice against the Lions last year, and they liked what they saw. And another guy they liked what they saw in is the guy who's probably going to be lining up on the other side, and that is Amik Robertson. Mm-hmm. And Amik Robertson has been a fan favorite since he's been added to the Detroit Lions, and he hasn't even played a snap yet. Why? Because he talks that talk. And he did it again on Twitter today. Chris, do we have?
Yep.
This is Amik Robertson replying to one of our posts. And this is his reply saying, I don't want y'all to feel like I'm trolling, but I think about Detroit every day. I can't wait. This is really God's plan. We gonna do something special. And our post is the Woodward Sports post. Do you have that as well?
Yeah, I have them.
Yeah, this is what was said, the post that he quoted from Woodward Sports. It was about conversations that Dan Campbell had with Amik Robertson after the signing of Carlton Davis. Because after they went out and got Carlton Davis, Dan Campbell thought it was kind of dead. The Amik Robertson situation was kind of dead. They might not go after him either. And this is what, Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions thought they were lost out on Amik Robertson after trading for Carlton Davis. And Amik Robertson said to Dan Campbell, like, are we going to do this or not? And obviously they did it.
Kiss me
and they brought him in. And this is a guy, I talked about the situation before, about how these guys are like the yin and yang. And you look at the receivers they're going to be going up against in this league. Obviously, Carlton Davis is your tall, long, rangy cornerback. Bigger guy, long arms. You put him up against bigger receivers. Amik Robertson is your smaller, shiftier, dog, get in your face, get in your grill cornerback. You look at the wide receiver tandems in the NFC North. Justin Jefferson, there's Carlton Davis. Addison, you put Amik Robertson on him. The Bears, Keenan Allen, Carlton Davis. DJ Moore, Amik Robertson. And finally, the Packers, Christian Watson, Carlton Davis, Jaden Reed, Amik Robertson. And, let's not forget, that slot's getting clamped all year by Brian Branch. Like, they brought in a perfect ebony and ivory situation with Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson because they both complement each other so well on the guys that they like to guard, the guys that they are good at matchups against, and they're both just dogs on the outside, man. Both of these guys fit the scheme so well. They fit the culture so well, and they're both chomping at the bit to get out there in Honolulu Blue and play for Detroit.
Another piece Dan Campbell got to speak about, DJ Reader. Can you play that one, Chris?
There.
Reader, man, that he popped off the tape immediately. You start going through them, and everybody has their own evaluations. Myself, Brad, the scouts, the coaches, and I mean, every one of us had full buy-in on Reader. Like, man, just see it's Reader at Cincinnati. It's like, his tape was. This guy's relentless. He plays the run. He can get an edge and pass, and he just fits us, man. And he's his character, he's got leadership qualities about him. Everybody raves about him. So he's the idea of he and Mac opposite each other, we felt like was going to help us significantly.
Again, another situation where I love where Dan Campbell goes out there and confirms the things you hear on this very show. Shout out to you guys for rocking with us, but we're here for a reason. We know what we're talking about to a certain extent. Obviously, we'd be in the NFL if it was like at a higher level than this, but he just told you right there. He loves the pairing of him and Lee McNeil. And I take pride in, like, I think I have a good feel for, I think I have good emotional intelligence. I can tell when people mean stuff and they don't mean things. We had the whole debate last year about the interesting, and now it's a drop now too, right? I was like, that's not good interesting. How about the laugh from Dan Campbell in the middle of just speaking about DJ Reader? Couldn't even help himself. The giddiness took over. Just the thought of DJ Reader next to Lee McNeil. Any football head, any football brained MFer out there knows if you got a guy like DJ Reader alongside a kid like Lee McNeil, it could get real nasty. And I just want to like hats off to Brad, because again, he told us everything he's going to do. Yeah, it may look sweet. I'd like to take credit for predicting everything, but he told us what he was going to do. In that same meeting where he told you he's not going to go out there and spend a shit ton of money on external ads, he told you he likes pairings. Of course, he'd love to pair something next to Hutchinson. There's your Davenport, hopefully down the road. Of course, you'd like to pair something next to what would have been Cam Sutton. Now we got to find another piece. That was Carlton Davis. And now the same situation with a Lee McNeil next to DJ Reader, causing havoc in the backfield for quarterbacks, running backs, whatever type of back you have back there. They're alarmed.
Roll back the tape. We talked about DJ Reader. Everybody's talking about Chris Jones. Everybody's talking about Justin Matabuki. And yeah, those are the big names. Those are what we're going to hear. But I am in the same exact reason as Dan Campbell. When I put on that fucking tape and I saw what DJ Reader does to a defense, I was like, yeah, imagine that guy opposite of Lee McNeil, who was looking great, playing next to nobodies. Playing next to Bohanna and Alu and Isaiah Buggs, and now you put DJ Reader next to him. Shit's not going to be sweet for offensive lines in the NFC North next year. Like, those guys are not going to be blockable. You have 3 guys on that starting defensive line that command a double team. You can't do that. Like, you can't double team all of them. And they're coming for that ass. No Diddy. Like, I am extremely excited to see how this guy DJ Reader affects not only the defensive line, but put it on wax, Jack Campbell. Over 115 tackles next year because of the impact DJ Reader brings. The dude is a monster. I was preaching that I wanted him in Detroit for a long time. And, you know, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have been known to listen to the heavies from time to time.
Let me talk to you.
And they made it happen. Because we know we're football fucking guys. Like, the front office are football guys. It's not hard to understand what they like out of players when you see their track record, you throw on the tape, and you see how these guys play, and you're like, yeah, that's something that they would like. I told you Jack Campbell was a Campbell guy. I told you DJ Reader was a Campbell guy. Gotta start listening to us, man. Come on, man. All I care about is you guys, man.
And I guess, like, I just want for the people who, the self-doubters, not the self-doubters, but the doubters in this team, the people who thought that, you know, Carlton Davis wasn't a good pickup, that's a bad trade. The people who think DJ Reader wasn't a good pickup for whatever reason, I've read them both. I hope you're all in the chat right now. And I hope just hearing that from the head coach, the head ball coach, Dan Campbell. I got to assume that's a guy you respect by now, at the very least. For him to say these same things, just know the Lions are...
fans.
Brad Holmes said it himself today. Maybe we'll cut the clip at some point, but he said this is the best free agency class they've had in his regime, and I have to agree. This is the most he's gone and expend. This is everything I wanted to heading into this offseason when I said, you're kind of right there. After that NFC Conference Championship game, like, you know your offense can carry you at least that far. How about you go grab some extra piece in this defense to see what this can do? And I wanted a little bit of a splash signing, but not so much like the name value, just a guy that's going to go out there and fucking ball, and you got that in DJ Reader. A guy who formerly did it, Carlton Davis, a little bit on a decline, but also that scheme got switched up too. Again, you guys, if you've watched routinely, you know we're kind of tight with the guys over there in Tampa Bay. The guys that we know in Tampa Bay are literally going to dinner with Jason Light and freaking
Todd Bowles.
Yeah, Todd Bowles. Like, go follow them next. You'll see for themselves. They changed up their scheme a little bit, doing a lot more zone because a lot of pieces they're missing through injury or whatever it may be, and blitzing through those situations. We got a guy who's going to play man coverage, shut that down. We got guys who can command double teams, let Lean do what he's got to do. And we got another guy who's going to headhunt. Not headhunt. That sounds kind of, I guess, bad.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
headhunt,
fuck it.
Man.
We got guys going to headhunt and meet Robinson.
He said, what did AG say? I want to bring the violence back to football.
Yeah.
I want these guys to play aggressive and violent. Go headhunt. Let those motherfuckers feel it. Like take them out. Not obviously out of the game, but put them on the ground. Make sure they feel you. Next time next time they come to your side, they're going to remember how they got hit last time, and that'll give them that half second of hesitation. And shout out to the Runyon in the Woodward Sports chat. He says, what if Davenport and Houston stay healthy all season long? Exactly. Those are two guys who can win one-on-one matchups. And whoever the fuck is on that other side of the defensive line is going to be getting one-on-one matchups every single snap. Because you got Hutch, Reader, and Aleem, who you got to double-team those guys. So whether it be Davenport, whether it be Houston, whether it be Matthew Betts, they're going to be getting one-on-one matchups And all those guys have proven they can beat one-on-one matchups at different levels.